reef for the diver or the free diver as they're experiencing it. So option one are swim through modules, three of those, and then two medium sculptures. And so the medium sculptures are the same size as the mermaids that you saw on the previous reef. Those are generally mermaids that are either sitting or laying on the reef modules. And then we also will be able to incorporate the Dania Beach logo or a selfie tail as well into this, if that's something that you would like. And that's included within option one. I'll show pictures too after I go over an overview as well.
Cece, is there an option to mix if you, let's say you were in love with option one, number one, and option two, number two? Is there the option to mix and match?
Yes, basically all I tried to do here is make sure that we were within budget for the sculptures as we've discussed with our reef builder, just to make sure that we're not making some gargantuan thing that's going to be $1 million. So I'm just trying to make sure that each of these options are within that. So if there's something that you really find that you love that isn't included in one, we can discuss with him how we can make that work. Okay, and then option two are the large sculptures. So the large sculptures you'll see in a minute are more, we did a, we were commissioned for a mermaid piece. You'll see that. And then there's also a diver that's industrial diver sitting on one of the modules as a chair, a throne. And those are the larger pieces that I'm referring to whenever I'm talking about option two with the large sculptures. And then, of course, with that, we could do some smaller sculptures like the turtles that I'll show you in a minute on the different modules, or we could do possibly some smaller or a selfie's tail as well. So those are different options within two. And then on three, the logo, and then we would do more mermaids in option three. And then again, we could put turtle sculptures or do a selfie tail as well. And then just when I'm speaking about the options, each one of these, in addition to the 5 sculptures, also has 15 low profile modules, which are the ones that you're seeing now. Those low profiles, we could put sculptures on them as well, like I think I discussed in one of the options, but ideally these wouldn't have sculptures on them. It's more for habitat and then for coral outplanting if that works out. All of them have the coral lock on it, which are these things that you're seeing on top of here. And that's for the coral outplanting that we've discussed already. This is an overview shot of our modules at the deployment that just happened, where we deployed 52 modules in Riviera Beach. So this is kind of what it looks like when you swim over. This is probably about, I'd say I'm about probably 10 to 15 feet below the surface at this point when we took this shot. On the far right is the low profile module. So that's what it looks like when you swim over it. If you see that on the far right hand side, that's a low profile. This is the diver sitting on the module chair, like I was speaking about, and this is the large mermaid. This large mermaid is 8 foot tall. And so I think something like this would be really nice to have out there. It's a very nice impactful statement when you swim up to it. We could space these out so they were near each other, but not so close, so that say a 15 to 20 foot visibility day, you'd be able to see both modules and be able to swim amongst the low profile and see those in the distance.
I have a question about that, Stacey.
Yes, go ahead.
That the area where the rectangle is that looks like some type of a plaque. Is there an area? I know that a lot of times when the commission does projects, they have like a dedication plaque. Is this an opportunity for us to have a dedication plaque and for us to etch our names on the dedication plaque as we do like for other buildings and,
yes,
and projects that happen?
Yep. And the firefighter module that we deployed, I don't have a picture of it in this one, but it's about the same size as the mermaid here in this picture. And for that one on the back of it, there's a very large plaque that says, something that the family wanted to put on there. But yes, there's a variety of different plaque options and items that we could add to the modules that are significant to maybe Dania, or significant to the commissioners that were helping with this project, that we could also incorporate into any of these modules.
I have a question.
Yes.
briefly. So from what you said before, like if we liked option one, but I don't see any turtles on it, is there a way that we'd be able to incorporate turtles? I mean, we have a huge turtle nesting area on Dania Beach, so kind of feel like they're needed.
Right. So, so what I was thinking initially, because I love turtles too. So, being able to, instead of maybe doing mermaids on the side of the swim through, we could do a mermaid on one side and a turtle on the other. That's definitely fine. And then I don't know if this video is going to play or not, but this is the swim through module. And so you can see what I'm talking about when I'm speaking about the diver swimming through the module. And let me know if this plays for you.
Yes, it's playing.
And then in the background of this shot is actually one of those large limestone boulders that we have in Riviera Beach. We have these here at the Dania site as well as part of one of the port mitigation projects. So, so people should be able to see our reef as well as other reef zones to make it a more interactive site and more interesting, both for divers and for the fish and the different animals down there too. Right, the next option. Again, we could do the large mermaid and diver, and then we could also incorporate the Dania logo instead of maybe one of the swim throughs, and then put 2 large turtle sculptures onto the low profile modules. And then in option 3, the Dania logo on a module, the turtle on some of the modules, and we could also do a selfie tail that's similar to the one in the picture, and then we could put some of the mermaids, 3 of them, like in the picture on the bottom right, onto modules as well.
Stacey, is there a way we can mix and match some of these ideas and kind of come up with something collectively that kind of fits?
Yes.
Okay. See, so if for example, piggybacking off, and I guess everyone's kind of had the same question. So I'm going to start off with 2 that I like. If we had the large mermaid sculpture and the mermaid selfie station, how do we understand for ourselves? Like, so then what else could be picked? Like, then would we pick 2 small? Let's say we agreed on those 2. You then pick 2 small, 1 small, 1 medium.
Yeah, so I would say you said one of the large mermaids and then a selfie tail.
The what you referred to as the large mermaid sculpture and the selfie tail station. So if you had those 2, then what can you pick from there?
Yeah, then I would say then remaining would be another large module, like either we could do one with the Dania logo or another mermaid.
Okay.
And then I would say probably at least 1 turtle on a low profile.
Okay.
More than one.
So if you did, what is the turtle considered small or medium?
I would say the turtle's small.
Okay. So.
But we could do a bigger turtle too. That's one thing. The hard part with what Chris does is that once we have items like the turtle, it's a mold, we can make them larger or we can make them smaller. So it becomes, unfortunately, far more complicated than for us to make a decision because we have so many options. So I think figuring out what we want it to look like, and then we can modify those things. So if you're 100% sure you want the selfie station, then and 1 large mermaid, that's perfectly fine. And then we'll just kind of figure out from there what we can do.
Mayor, how would you like us to go about this? Like, do you want us to try and get
Yeah,
this for
I
one?
was gonna see if we had consensus on the large mermaid sculpture.
Underwater.
Underwater, sorry.
Yeah.
We're only talking
I
about
like
the
that.
underwater right now.
I like that.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So that'll be the first thing,
Okay.
will be the large mermaid. And then I would think that if you have a large mermaid sculpture underwater, you will want the selfie station that is similar to that. So do we have consensus for the, what is that, the medium-sized selfie mermaid?
Just a selfie station.
Mermaid selfie station.
Is that the
Do we have
tail?
consensus for that?
Is that the selfie
Yeah,
tail?
Correct.
That's
yeah,
fine. I'm fine with that.
okay. Yes, yes. Okay, so we have consensus for that. And then what did you say we have left in our piggy bank?
And then I would say one more large sculpture. So something similar to like the size of the diver sitting down, or we could do the Dania logo large, or we could say, whatever we want. We could say, welcome to
Okay,
Dania,
so
Dania Reef, whatever we want on a large plaque. So think about this one in the center here with the Dania logo on it.
okay.
And then we could put a plaque on that. Or if you wanted to, what we could do, now we're getting crazy, but let me show you these other options here.
Oh, you thought this was going to be simple.
No, I didn't think it was going to be simple. No, not at all. I knew how crazy it is, all these ideas Chris has. So I knew what was happening. So all of these module types, and then if you could, I don't know if you can see it really well, but this on the bottom right picture, you can see a plaque there.
Yeah, I see that.
That's a large sculpture,
Oh,
and
I
it
like
has that
that.
on there. And this, see in to the left hand side here, the one with the person inside of the module, that one
Mhm.
has in the center of one of our modules something else. So it might look neat to have the Dania logo or a phrase or something in there. And then we also have an artist that really would like to be a part of the project. He has a continuous line drawing that he would like to incorporate. And so what that would look like is basically a large brain coral module. And then so we could do the same thing, have a Dania plaque in the front of that, which I think I have a picture of, but I don't have it in this project. So
Okay.
so
So
I can
let's
put it
get
in
some of the
there.
thoughts. Commissioner Davis, I know that you had your hand raised.
Yes, because I think the interactive part in the swim through would be really, really important. Do we still have that option along with with the mermaid? Can that still be done? Because I just think that having something where the people can go through is would be really important. So I'm good with option 2. I just think that adding the swim through option would be really good to have along with it.
And what we might do is have a swim through, which is fine, and then we could put the Dania logo on the side of one of the swim throughs.
Okay, Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yeah, I'm good with the swim through too. I was gonna say, I think that's needed. But I really do, again, I'm just gonna bring it up again. I really think we need to have turtles out there, and I think it needs to be more than one. I don't like the idea of just having one turtle out there, one little turtle somewhere, unless it's gonna be a larger turtle or medium-sized turtle, something, or have multiple small turtles, because people literally come to our beach because of the turtles. So,
And what I think I'm hearing, which I think would definitely be something that we could do, is put a large turtle on one of the low profile modules, and then put maybe two smaller turtles close to that one. So when you're swimming over, you see the big turtle, and then you can see the little ones around him. So if that would be something that you would be agreeable to, I think we could.
Is that in addition to one of the other larger modules? So the land-based module is one of those, obviously you said can go underwater. So I'm looking at the one that has, the writing on the left side of it.
Mhm.
So could we have that along with the turtles, or, because I'm just trying to figure out what we have
Um,
left.
Well, generally, the ones with the writing on it aren't going to look that great on the low profile, but that we could put that same plaque on the side of a swim through as well. We could have the Dania logo on one side of the swim through, and the other side have a plaque. Or on the large mermaid, we could have the large mermaid on one side, and on the back is the plaque as well, or the Dania logo. That's perfectly fine too.
So I see you, Commissioner Ahmed. I just want to be sure. So we have two large, with this option, we're going to have two large models or something.
Mhm.
So the one would be the large mermaid and the other one would be,
I would say
that's
probably
what we're
just one of the
deciding.
swim throughs. I would say if
Oh,
we
so
could
the
do,
swim through is considered a large one. Okay,
yes,
got it.
yes, I would
I
say
thought,
because of the real surface area that you have still with that swim through, we have both sides, which are, I'd say, about 4 foot, give or take, area for us to put something on. So so it's very easy for us to be able to put the Dania logo on either side of the swim through, and I think that would look really nice.
okay, so we have the large mermaid and the swim through for the large model. And then we have the selfie station.
Hmm.
And then we would have the turtle one.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that would, if um the on the swim through, do we want to try to incorporate the Dania logo and maybe a plaque on the other side of that one?
Yeah, I think we should definitely have something with, I mean, there's hopefully going to be lots of photography opportunities down here. So I think it'd be a missed opportunity if we didn't do something. I really like the one on the land-based modules in that circle there, like that. I guess it has the plaque on it, but if you could do one with the logo and the plaque, that seems like that's very pretty. Is that my question was that considered are these considered a swim through on the screen, the one with the heart
No.
inside of it? No. Okay.
No,
The
the swim throughs right now are the ones that, like the video I showed. That's
Okay,
the swim
that
through.
one.
And we like I said, this one doesn't have a plaque on it just because we hadn't put one out yet, but it would be very easy for us to affix a plaque to one or both sides of the swim through.
Hey,
Okay,
hey,
so
Stacy, if I could, sorry, if I could just interject for a moment. Have you discussed with them about the ability to add mini habitat modules post deployment? And hi, everyone. My name's Shelby Thomas. I'm the COO and Director of Research with 1,000 Mermaids.
Okay, I was
in
looking
Aura.
at who's that
Just
talking?
for an introduction.
The mini habitats, as far as just incorporating those into any of the modules, because that's something that we would do with the Port Everglades project, not necessarily as part of this Dania project.
Correct, but it is an opportunity if they'd be interested because we have the ability to add, for example, the turtles post retroactively. We actually add plaques for individuals. So in West Palm Beach, Riviera, our Riviera site, we're adding plaques for different celebratory and memorial options. It doesn't have to be that; it could be any type of plaque. But we have a lot of different designs that can be added retroactively. And as you can see on this swim through, you can see these little studs that are all over the module. Those are actually outplanting opportunities for both coral and plaques. So that's one of our other methods that we've used to help generate the ability to build more reefs by getting more people involved and to care and contribute. So that could be a potential option in the future. I'm hearing that you guys are really wanting a lot of the turtles, but you could even get some of the residents to actually, if they want their own turtle down there with a plaque, they could also do that.
Yes.
So just to encourage you guys, you can put a lot more out there retroactively.
for sure, and I know some people came onto this project later, but when I first started discussing it with Evan, that was definitely something that he emphasized with us, that down the line, if we like this project and the residents like this project and people in surrounding areas like the project and is successful, that we had the opportunity to add on and build on to this in each further budget season if we so chose.
Correct.
So it's not like we're totally, missing out if there's something we love that doesn't,
Definitely. I mean, we can work it in regardless. I think the main thing is just figuring out what type of modules. And as Stacy mentioned, there's a lot of different design varieties. So that's kind of another subset. It's just really deciding what types of modules you want. And then from there, we can go with the designs and making sure we're incorporating whatever types of plaques and insignia that you want on the modules themselves. So this is kind of just step one to figure out the direction, and then we can really go from there.
So Cece, this is the one swim through. So do we want to decide if there's consensus for this swim through?
We already did.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in agreement on large mermaid sculpture, selfie tail station, and I'm just calling it swim through.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see where we were.
Yes. And then adding a large turtle sculpture to one of the low profile. And then I think we could do two smaller turtles as well and still stay within budget there as well.
Well, did we do consensus for that?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I don't know, are we going to do the logo as well? Do you guys want to do that, or did you want to wait?
I think we can incorporate the logo onto the swim through. The logo is a lot easier for us to incorporate, so I would say that would we would be able to put that on a swim through, and then if we as we move forward, if we wanted to do the Dania logo as well as a plaque with some kind of inscription, whatever it be that you decide moving forward, then we can do that onto the back of the Large Mermaid. So I think putting the Dania logo is something we'll be able to incorporate regardless.
Okay, because
Can you?
sorry, go ahead. You guys go. Talk.
No, I just want to see what the turtles on top of the small.
So I don't have a picture. We haven't actually
Stacey,
done
I
it.
have a picture of some of the
picture of
plaques underwater.
of the
Yeah,
turtle
if you can
on
stop.
Shelby, the plaque that the one you're going to show is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
But-
putting a very large turtle
Right.
onto one
They
of
can
the
just
low
see
profiles.
the scale of it on a smaller one with a
Yes.
plaque, and then
And I
just
know it's much larger.
right. If you stop sharing, I can share it really quick. Let's see, unless we can share.
Probably can't at the same time.
Yeah.
I think we also joked around the 1,000 turtles idea. We can revisit that.
Yeah, it could encourage the residents.
Yes.
All right, so
If you can share now, Shelby.
gotcha. Okay. We're just having to enable it to be allowed to share. Give me 1 second.
Monica, does Shelby have the access to be able to share?
Okay, I'm trying to enable it right now. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, can you guys hear me? It had me restart it to be able to share.
I hear you, but
Yes, we
we
can
don't
hear
see
you.
anything yet.
Okay, here we go. There we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see, turtle. So here's one example. So you can see this is just one of the smaller turtle plaques that we're able to retroactively add to any of the module through these little points here, those white studs. These here are the coral locks, which we later outplant coral as well. And Stacy's holding a different plaque design that also has the coral locks incorporated. So different individuals can basically sponsor or have a celebratory plaque that helps contribute to restoration. And these are some of that's more of a above water view, but as we said, we can make it this turtles to any scale. These ones just specifically had plaques on them, but the sculpture would not, unless you guys wanted to put like the Dania logo or whatever.
The small turtles, those I would consider the size of a small turtle, and then the large ones would probably be at least double, if not triple that size.
I like the small turtles on the thing. I think that looks nicer than putting. I'm not sure if I'm too keen on the idea of the big turtles, but I do like a little turtle on that thing. That way you're having different, things of different size. You want everything to look different scale. So I like the little a little turtle on there, and I really like the idea of having our Chamber of Commerce work on getting businesses to sponsor additional turtles that could come along as well and join the fam. But
Definitely. And we could even, put it on the lower profile modules and even make like a turtle trail, you could call it. And we can also do things other than turtles. But if you wanted to keep the turtle theme, we could do as many of these as you guys would really want to.
I personally don't want to do the turtle. I mean, to me, this is the Thousand Mermaids project. I've vetted it with the residents, and they're all jazzed about mermaids. They want to see mermaids, but I want to fit in the turtles in the sense of I think it's a great thing, especially with the Chamber of Commerce. So but I think that's again getting off track. If today we're supposed to just be determining our initial jump in.
So I think I really feel strongly. Of course, I'm a resident, so so of course I think our residents are going to be gung ho with us. But I think that they will want to push forward with different things to help us with the project. So I have a feeling that we will be able to incorporate more turtles into the project, even if we don't decide we want the concrete ones right now. We can put them in after. I have a feeling that's going to happen anyway.
Okay,
We can certainly add the smaller ones.
we need to vote on and have consensus for.
Yes, I know. So yeah, so I because it seemed to me like 2 out of 3 of the commissioners felt strongly about putting at least one large turtle out at the deployment. We could do that, and then I said I think we could put 2 of the smaller turtles.
Let's slow down and let's gather it back up and let's see where we are.
Okay.
We are at a large mermaid with a plaque and the swim through with the logo.
Mm-hmm.
And the medium selfie mermaid station.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stacey, how many small, what do you call them?
Turtles.
Small mermaids. But
no, I'm
but
not talking about turtles or mermaids. What do you call just the concrete that's going down?
Low profile modules.
Low profile.
Okay, low profile modules.
The supporting
How many
modules.
low profile modules do we have?
those are
available?
15. That we're always going to do 15 low profile modules.
Okay, so we'll have 15 low profile. And then you're saying, okay, and so out of the 15, we can choose a number of them, or between the commission, we can decide how many we want to add turtles to, correct?
No. The 15 low profiles were happening. It's the 5 with the sculptures that we're discussing. So basically, so where we are right now, we're talking about a total of 20 and the 5 sculptures we wanted to incorporate. So
Got it.
So, and I think, and clarify if I'm wrong, I think we also decided that the swim through with a logo is also something, right? So right now, I think we have.
So I have Large Mermaid with a plaque.
Yep.
I have swim through with the logo.
Okay.
We have the medium selfie mermaid station, and now we have to discuss the 5 sculptures.
The smaller, yes.
Okay.
What else could they be besides turtles, Stacey? Is there anything else besides that?
So right now we only really we have the one large mermaid and then the selfie tail. That's really all we have. So I would recommend we do mermaids.
Okay.
And the mermaids would be similar. I'll show you. I'll share my screen again.
You guys can do any future designs for any additions that you want to add to the modules. And just to clarify with the turtles, we can add them to any of the modules, but per the budget, we're just discussing the 5 design selections. But just in the future, we are able to add turtles or any other type of animal if you wanted it to, or logo to any of the modules retroactively. Or if anyone wanted to sponsor.
What does this mermaid, the smaller mermaid sculptures look like? It would be the same as the larger one?
So these on the bottom right, they're life-size mermaids. So they are, that's a person's cast actually. So it's a person-sized mermaid sitting on top of one of the modules. So I would recommend that we do mermaids on the remaining options.
5?
No, not 5.
How many?
So maybe we can do 2 with
have to.
turtles and 3 with mermaids.
So then we would do, we'd be able to do a remainder of, 1 second. We could do, so if we want to do 1 turtle and 2 mermaids, that would be okay?
Yeah, that would be okay with me. What about everyone else?
How big is the turtle? Is it small turtle or is it?
We get 1 large turtle.
We do, it would be
I'm fine with that.
turtle-sized turtle.
I'm fine with that. And I also had a question about the small turtles. How much do they cost if they're to be added later?
We are discussing with Chris what those pricings will be right now, so we can get back to you with that.
Okay, so I just kind of would like to know for businesses or individuals who might want to purchase one. I might want to purchase one, so.
That's what we anticipated. We haven't finalized those numbers yet, but we will get those to you.
Okay.
The revenues from those go to the organization.
Yes, to generally to put out the coral that we're going to be doing, and then also we would be increasing this reef size as well with those funds.
And it requires additional barge trips from our vendor, and the barge is one of the most expensive costs. So we need to secure enough commitments to construct these new modules to engage the vendor for additional barge trips, which is, you know, tens of thousands of dollars. But we'll work with you guys in the chamber to grow it, you know, collaboratively and make sure it's still tasteful art and turtles and all that.
And Evan, from what we decide today, are you guys going to be able, can you put together a little rendering for us of what it'll look like from what we decide today?
Yes.
Of course, a lot of these are obviously existing renderings and drawings. And we were just integrating, you know, obviously putting the Dania logo here and using images as references, but we'll come up with custom renderings, obviously, for you guys, and they can be used for promotional purposes, or if you need them for another vote after this, we'll be glad to provide those.
Great, that would be wonderful.
Okay, can I recap this? Can I attempt to? Okay, 1 large mermaid with the plaque. A large swim through with the logo. The selfie mermaid station. And then the 2 mermaids and 1 turtle.
Yes.
And then the 15 low profile.
Correct.
So that's 21. I just want to make sure we're okay.
Technically, it's not 21 because the large turtle is going to go on a low profile module. So one of the 15 is going to have.
Got it. Okay.
I personally think that will look really nice. It's something we haven't done yet. So it'd be interesting to put that out there and then be able to validate that.
Okay.
Awesome. I love it. Do we need to get consensus on that? On that back?
Does anyone not agree? Let's do that. Does anyone not agree with that?
All right.
Stacey, what's the timeline on something like this?
So the next steps are that we, now that we have the confirmation of what we're going to be doing, we're going to be giving those, the options that you have chosen to the county. The county is going to ensure that all of these things are fitting within all the requirements that they have. And then from there, Chris would start to be able to build them. And we're still hoping to be able to deploy in June.
Awesome.
One other thing, is there a way that you all could take the commission, those of us that would want to go and dive and see these things? I think that would be an awesome opportunity for the commission, for those of us that wanted to take part in this.
Yes, and there would also be some opportunities. I don't know if it would necessarily be a traditional ribbon cutting, but before they go in the water, we could stage a nice photo opportunity and do.
That's one.
We can't do a ribbon cutting underwater. That would be.
We could do that.
Pretty dope.
That's great.
Yeah, figuring out what kind of events that you wanted to do in conjunction with this is the next thing that I'd like to discuss. I don't know if we have time today to start that discussion, or if we need to move that to another time. But there are the citizen science events, as well as things like the deployment day that I would like to, well, we can't definitively say the dates for the deployment yet because it's going to be contingent on a couple of things. There are events prior to that that I would like to discuss with the commission if it's okay to start that planning process.
Well, I think that Commissioner Ottman is kind of the liaison. This is something that she brought here, so you can work with her and she'll bring us back something. I know that our assistant city manager has his hand up, so I want to give him an opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Stacy, I just have a question since this is a major undertaking, you know, having to have a barge out there and the mayor, vice mayor, commissioners, and with the city manager are taking the lead with this project. And the deployment date not being set in stone yet, what's the possibility of trying to create some, well, there's already excitement in the community, but some further support from business owners from the chamber, instead of having a second trip out there with these additional pieces, if we're able to finalize what we want to do, if there's any possibility of adding on the same trip that these barges and modules are going to go on, what's the time frame? How much time would we have in case that we wanted to do a campaign to get other people involved, other businesses and entities and agencies involved on our same trip, and possibly do a little bit of a bigger project instead of having to do a second trip, which will probably cost more money because of the whole barge and the whole taking everything out there.
Exactly. So, so that is a possibility. We probably need a really not really quick turnaround, but we would need to have to start those conversations and start discussing that now. Our barge, as it is right now, we have already maxed it out with the 20 modules, so we would need to put additional barge trips in the with the exception of we double it, say, or something. If we doubled it, then we might get a larger barge and then be able to then amplify that. So so I would say we can campaign and see what the businesses want to do. If they want to, then we can add additional. It's about 5 large modules per barge trip. It's a little iffy as far as if they want something very large, like their logo on something large, and it takes up more barge space. But that's about how many we need. And then we also have the construction time. So I would say I'd have to discuss with Chris, but I would say
Be a cutoff by April or May, probably.
I would say March. I would say by March, because we also still need to go back to the county and make sure that those finalized modules are able to be deployed, because we have to request from the county every time.
And that was my second question. After this step, if there is a second trip in the future, would you have to get new permits for that trip?
No, yes, well, not new permits for the trip, but we do have to request every time we do a deployment. So every time it's essentially that same process. So what this would alleviate is the quantity of times we have to go back to the county and request, because the modules are a little different. So so that would help expedite. But as long as the weather is okay, if the county allows us to, then we could deploy several times over the summer, if we're able to get those trips put together.
And I wanted to add to that really quick. We have a few different options. So the barge wouldn't be necessary for any of those smaller mini habitat modules of the different types of either turtles or the ones with the plaques. Those are just used with dive operators. We're able to actually go down and deploy those. So that wouldn't be as much of an issue if you're wanting to add that into a campaign of where if businesses want to sponsor a turtle or a mini habitat module where we're out plant coral. That wouldn't be the same scenario. But if a business is interested in actually sponsoring a whole entire reef module, that's where we'll have to start incurring more barge costs and making sure we're at least filling up one barge load, because it's not as cost effective to send out 2 modules on a barge. So if that's the case, then we could, let's say, just fill up 5 at a time. if businesses want to actually sponsor a reef. And that's great because it obviously has all the habitat benefits and further opportunities, but there are smaller ways to get involved, such as the plaques or different animals or insignia that can be added to any of the lower profile modules.
I would love, Candido, if you could work with Randy Stat, because you know, we kind of I get what you're saying about generating some buzz about this, and seeing if you two could come up with a name for this campaign. I have no idea what it would be, but something about the reef and growing the reef or whatever. And then she can move forward with approaching the businesses that are in the chamber, and whatever the price is that we get from Stacy or Shelby about what that would be, seeing if they want to get on board and be a part of this. I think a lot of them would, and so I think that would help generate excitement for it. So that would probably be something if we could talk to Randy about that soon.
Absolutely.
We're gonna need those prices, how much each one's gonna cost sooner rather than later, so that can be incorporated into it.
Just one caveat with that. There's the pricing that we're providing for you guys as a government entity, obviously as a capital project, and then there's the individual pricing that we provide to businesses and private individuals. Obviously on the government level, it's a much bigger scale. There's an economy of scale model to the materials we use. The more materials, the price per goes down. The suggestion that they were making with the smaller turtles, it's going to be a lower price point. It's going to be a easier barrier to entry for somebody to be able to donate and contribute, you know, $500 or $1,000 for a turtle that a diver can dive underwater and retroactively apply, versus us creating a $7,500 or $15,000 turtle, which we'd have to get a $10,000 barge to deploy. We started having some conversations with Randy at the beginning of the project, and I think even despite the whole COVID thing, the next phase of this, if it's a month later or if it's next year, we will grow the project, but we kind of have to get it out there for people to see it first, get the press impact, because not everybody in Broward County and Dania Beach knows about, you know, the reefs yet. And then instead of trying to rush it for a cutoff of March or April, if we say the cutoff is March or April of 2022, it'll probably make it a little bit easier. People won't feel the pressure. They could budget and plan for it. If we can get it out in or if we can get this done by March of 2021 and add more this year, great. I just don't want to, you know, it's not necessarily like a rush thing. We can always add to the project either on another trip this year or in the future as well.
Okay. Can I ask that Commissioner Ottman gets with you all, put together some type of a package of things that, you know, the commission may want, including like price point and the dates that Stacy was talking about with the other types of events that were going to happen, and give it to us at the next commission meeting, or maybe during her commission comments, kind of, you know, go through those if we have to plan out some dates of where we need to be, or some commitments that you all may need from us. Because we do have another meeting coming up at 5:30, and you know, I don't want to start too many different conversations, but maybe with Candido and the chamber and Commissioner Ottman, and get with you all and present us with something or give us something that we can take a look at, and you know, before the meeting, and so we'll be prepared enough to make those decisions at the meeting. Does that sound okay, Commissioner Ottman?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. Does anyone else have anything to add?
Mayor, real quick, if I may, how do we start working together to market this so we can have our elected officials do some videos? Is this something that we would be working with Stacy or with Evan? So there's a timeline when we begin to get, you know, you guys out there in front of the cameras and start generating that buzz.
Yes.
Right. I think that. Go ahead, Evan.
We're glad to work with you guys on the content and providing images, renderings, high-res photos, and then as we get closer, we'll be glad to work with you on the messaging, the videos, the content and the text, and work with the marketing department. I don't know if the CRA is involved in this conversation, but glad to work with the communications department or whoever's the best person to help get it out. We'll work collaboratively with them.
Yeah, and certainly the sooner the better for the campaign, and we're willing to share like any of those photos that we just shared of the underwater plaques. We have a lot of other editions of that, so I'd be happy to share and help kind of structure that depending on what you guys are actually wanting to push out to your residents.
Awesome.
And
Commissioner Davis?
Yeah, I just had a question because I wasn't here on the project earlier, and Evan did mention something about the materials. And so I did do a little bit of homework, but not sure if all the modules are going to be made of the cement veneers, and what is the difference in the material versus what the modules that the city with the larger sculptures, what the larger modules will have versus what maybe per se a business owner would get. What would be the difference in materials?
The concrete is all the same. There's no difference between what the city will get and what the businesses will get. It's just the pricing difference is what I think Evan was referring to. That we of course have a price for governmental contracts and cities, and then something different for the businesses.
Okay. And is that include there have the cement veneers that attracts the species to all of the modules? Because I know
Correct.
okay.
Yeah, all of Chris's cement has a lot of different bio materials within it, so it's more eco-safe concrete, has basalt fibers and calcium carbonate blast. So all of our materials that we use are consistent with that.
Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Commissioner Ottman?
Stacy, don't we also, at the beginning of this conversation, we started with, so the above water ones. So we all agreed we're going to do the selfie station, but then we have to say what our second above water was going to be.
But yes, you don't have to decide that today because I don't need to start that permitting discussion with the county regarding the above water modules. But we would ideally have one of those options be the module that we have made for the above water.
Right. Well, it seems if one's the selfie tail, you wouldn't have the swim through or the small mermaid. So it seems it makes the most sense, I think, to do the large mermaid as the second above ground sculpture.
What's the first above ground sculpture?
The station, the selfie station.
That's the first or the second? I thought you just said second.
The selfie station was something that we had already introduced. It's something that is a nice thing you can add to anywhere you would like. We can move it to the beach. We can move it to City Hall. We could put it out for different events we have. So that's already included within it. And then it was just a choice of what you wanted the large land-based module to look like. And that one is larger and heavier. So ideally that would stay put wherever we decide to put it.
Well, we don't need to decide location today.
No, just.
I'm sure everyone has different ideas about where they think would be best, but do we have consensus to decide that the large mermaid for the second above land?
What are the
Like
other?
the one that's underwater?
It has to be one of the ones that was underwater, if that's correct, Stacy.
I for that because we have one of the modules that we've created already, which has like 3 mermaids sitting on it, which I really think is probably the nicest one we have to attract and kind of say what we are and what we're doing. That's what I would recommend. So instead of it being just 1 mermaid on the above water module, it would be an above water module with 3 mermaids on it, and we could also put the Dania plaque on the front of that too.
Which one is that?
Do you have a picture of that, Stacey? I might if you don't.
You don't, yeah, I don't have a picture within this presentation, but I think Shelby has one.
I'll take a look. And what we can do actually is take multiple pictures and put them together in a file of the different mermaid sculptures that we do have, just so you can see the different diversity, because we have over at least 10 to 15 different types. The main purpose for today was really just to decide what type of direction we're going to go, so we can start, preparing our conversations with the county and getting Chris on cue to start constructing these. But I'd be happy to send that over at a later date. Let me see if I can locate some pictures.
That's fine. I was just trying to take advantage of getting as much done for you guys on your end as we could get, get the project, put us all together.
Basically,
But if you have what you need and we've given you enough as a commission, then good.
yeah, if you see the mermaid module in the bottom right, the ones where she's sitting on top of the module there, it's similar to that one, only there's 3 mermaids instead of.
I love it. Beautiful.
There'll be some birds and the bees conversations happening with kids and their parents.
Yes, we probably won't choose that mermaid. That was basically my point. Was I didn't want to say it's exactly that one because I know we're probably not gonna put that one out there. But it's mermaids. 3 mermaids.
So there's no bare naked, there's no bare naked mermaids.
No,
Okay.
not for the above water module.
For any one of you who is worried about it, there's no naked mermaids.
Not for the above. No, we don't do that.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Stacy and Shelby, and Evan for joining us. And I hope that you received everything that you needed from us. And we look forward to this project. I'm excited. I don't know who all is going to go and dive, but I vowed to never do it again. And I think I'll try and do it one more time. Take one for the team, one for the team, and Commissioner Ottman to keep us updated as to what steps are next with this project.
Great.
Any other comments from the commission?
That
All
is
right,
it.
I'll see you all in about 25 minutes. Meeting adjourned.
Great job, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you all.
Cheers.